The following podcast is scheduled for one fall with no time limit.
Super hot fire!
The greatest spectacle in podcast entertainment, Mr. Nestlemania.
That was literally verbal diarrhea. I'm setting the bar awfully low. Titus O'Neil keeps running directly into that bar. Get him off my TV, get him off my TV. You make me very angry.
The man who has a better IQ than you, the awe-inspiring JC.
You should go work for WWE because you'd be so up far up Vince's butt.
No.
Oh, you are such a sucker.
You
You
are.
defend everything, all the bad moves they make.
This is the Jobber Knocker Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker Podcast. As always, it's Nestlemania. Alongside for the ride is JC.
I'm stomping on the ground. Stomping on the ground. Stomping on the ground.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hey, look, I'll say this much. Not a bad pay-per-view.
No, it was fine.
It was a satisfactory pay-per-view.
I was not bored watching it until that steel cage match came on.
Sure, but I mean, most of it was kind of like, hey, you know what? There's a lot of good effort here.
There was a lot of good stuff. I mean, I got home like right in time in the middle of the cruiserweight match. That match, as Seth Rollins pointed out on Twitter, was super hot fire. And your boy, you got to be happy.
Gabagulak.
Cruiserweight champ.
Yeah, the best in the biz. I'm
Well, I
telling
don't
you
know about that, but-
I'm telling you right now, that guy is super unappreciated. That's
No,
not
he
true.
deserves it
He
for
deserves
sure.
it. He's appreciated now. But I mean, like, the amount of work he's been doing at NXT 205 and, like, just eating people's finishers for so long on NXT, I think, just making everybody else better. He just makes everybody good. He makes everybody, even the guys, interesting. Now, granted, he's not necessarily the most interesting person in the world, but on that mat, man, he's a canvas painter. He's
really
goes to
good in
town.
the ring, but
Goes to town.
yeah.
Goes to town. So I'm very excited about that one. And I'm sure we'll look more forward, with the Joe Stopper.
Joe
doing-
Stopper's cruiserweight report, man. It's going to be super hot fire this week, right?
Did you call it correctly? What is he?
No, he likes it called the cruiserweight report. He doesn't
does.
like the 205 live report.
Okay, I just want to make
So
sure.
I did it correct.
Okay.
So you shouldn't be questioning me.
Okay, I have to question you because I think Joe wants me to question you. But I'm just saying.
Well,
Anyway, it's a great report. Check it out on jobberknocker.com. There we go. All right, anyway, somebody continue on your stomping grounds thing.
oh yeah, Becky retains against Lacey in a match that
That was woof. That was rough.
was not very technically sound. As we've seen with Becky, when she's facing like someone who has a few struggles, she does not give a fuck, and she's like, "Yep, this is gonna suck." I mean, she's the new John Cena, as Botchamania guy pointed out. She's screaming spots
Yeah.
and getting pissed when they're not having that match is bad.
It was funny. I didn't actually get this full disclosure. I didn't get to see the entire match, and I think
You're lucky.
I started halfway through. My longtime pal, the tough talk Tony Spencer, my boy, was texting me going, "Why does Lacey Evans suck so bad?" I hadn't seen all of
It was
the
bad.
faux pas. I think I was at the back part of the end part of the match, and I was like defending her to Tony, and I was thinking to myself, well, she's only 2 years in, and I said to him,
Which is insane that she's like already in like this top female like feud spot.
and I was like, how good were you 2 years in, man? Like,
Yeah.
You weren't necessarily
This
setting
is
the world on
crazy
fire.
coming from you. I was expecting you to tear
Yeah,
apart.
but then I went back. Then I came back down to Nestle World, and I was like, well, that one Botchamania thing that got thrown out where she calls the spot for the back
Yeah.
elbow, then misses this. See, that's the thing. I'll say this much. Whether I watch Becky or whether I watch Bayley, whoever does the bottom rope catapult to something always fucks up their timing. It's a move that I appreciate that they're trying.
Just don't do it.
It doesn't work.
It's just like when Bailey tries to fly through the middle ropes
Exactly.
and fails every time. Don't do it.
And Bayley does it. She did it on Tuesday. She does
know.
that thing where she goes for the back elbow, but she bounces off the bottom rope and then hits the back elbow. It just looks awkward. It doesn't look like. Why would you change direction? It wouldn't work in a momentum portion. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, right? Like, it just doesn't do that. So it is what it is. Sorry, but the match was like, ugh. But I will say later we'll talk about the main event. But there is something from that particular match that I wanted to point out at some point later. But
Okay.
I am. It's interesting the storytelling they're doing. We asked for storytelling. They're not necessarily doing the storytelling that we want,
But
there is a
they've
story.
committed to it. Yeah, we were talking about it with Cap yesterday.
Right.
Like it's like we all. I think everyone's in agreement with that, which is good.
Yeah.
Next up, KO and Sammy beat the New Day.
Thank
but
God.
It literally doesn't matter because they fucking threw it out the next night. So
It's
I'm just
true.
gonna throw out that match too, and we're gonna move on to the highlight of the pay-per-view for me. For me.
For you,
me,
pay-per-view,
too.
you.
Pew 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 pew. Rick O'Shea.
Killing himself on the entrance.
Oh my God, it was great. I love he was making fun of himself
Oh, yeah.
after the match too.
That's the way to do it, though.
Yeah, you
That's the
just own
absolute
it,
way to
man.
do it.
Own it. Everyone screws up, and
Yeah.
I fucking love this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the more and more I watch, I just love it. And I was so happy for him that he got that win. It was a surprise. I wasn't expecting it. I think we all picked Samoa Joe in the predictions.
Yep. Speaking of which, there was a controversy.
Controversy. Yeah, you screwed up.
No, I did
Trying
not.
to screw the real deal.
No,
B. Cox.
I was not trying to screw the real deal, B. Cox, because there were blanks on the website. I didn't
You
check.
shooting blanks, Brown Bear?
I didn't check the Google Doc, but I checked the website because I figured they were the official because they were out. Danny unfortunately has a lot on his plate.
I'm still
so
blaming you.
I'm gonna blame me. I'm
Yeah.
gonna blame me too.
Yeah,
so
I'm blaming you.
It is my fault. I will take full responsibility for that. So I think it's Ray, Danny, and the real deal B. Cox that won.
Ooh.
I think so. It's a three-way tie.
Three-way
a triple
tie.
threat. So congratulations to those three.
Yeah, and I came in dead fucking last.
And that was definitely reported.
Yeah, Ricochet and Joe was a great match. These two were fun together, and I love the moment of Ricochet winning. I thought it was cool what they did after backstage with him, like
The baby
you know,
faces, yeah.
it's like that's the type of things you should do with baby faces. It was a cool moment. I was glad they put it on TV. He got to hug Daddy Dearest and
He
everyone
fucking
else.
slapped him so hard in the ear. I was like, why not slap him in the face like a normal person? Triple H just goes, he either must be 75 years old, doesn't wear his glasses, and just fucking, he's doing the
You
Stan.
leave Daddy alone.
He's got the Stan Hansen. I'll tell you a really quick story about this. When I was in wrestling school, they told me the story about Stan Hansen, who would always get in the ring with people. Stan Hansen would throw a lariat that would fucking annihilate you. He fucking threw a lariat that would make JBL's Clothesline from Hell look like a fucking little kid. I'm telling you right now, he would go into Japan and be like, now, son, I'm not wearing my glasses, so I don't know where I'm throwing my lariat. It was just the same thing. It was like Triple H just smacking Ricochet in the ear, and I'm thinking to myself, God damn it. Why would you slap him that hard?
Steroids, man.
Awful.
Doesn't know his own strength.
Awful. Sorry. But it was a great match. Somebody on Twitter, I don't know if Big E said it or not, but it was when he slipped and fell, somebody made a comment that it was probably because of Big E's baby oil. Because of the match previously. And I don't know if Big E commented
That's
on
good.
it, but I
That's
was
good.
like, that's pretty funny. That's pretty awesome. So it is what it is. But again, next night on Raw, we'll talk about it, I'm sure, but it was
Yeah.
interesting where they went with it. They even had it at backstage segment with the
I
club.
did like that
appreciated
tease.
Yeah.
They just, they hit the fast forward button like they always do.
Oh, yeah.
Because, that's what WWE
Hot
does.
shot.
But next up, we have the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Daniel Bryan, the hometown hero, and Rowan win in what was a really fun match. I think I said it to the group. I'm like, I just enjoyed a heavy machinery
You
match.
did?
Know why? Because Daniel fucking Bryan
It's true.
gets people over. He got those guys not only leading up to this match, but in that match, they got themselves so over despite them being the babyfaces in the crowd cheering for their hometown guy who's a heel. Like, I was like, this is a really scary spot for them. That's why when I realized it was in Tacoma or whatever the hell it was,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a tough spot for heavy machinery. First pay-per-view match, a relatively unknown team. They're supposed to be pushed as babyfaces. But you know what? They did well. Otis obviously got all his shit in. Tucker, he had a few missteps, but mostly it was good. Overall, though, it was a really fun match, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, except for the fucking finish.
Oh, yeah, roll up. Yeah. I mean, did you see
He
what
said,
Daniel Bryan
yeah,
tweeted?
Captain Small Package strikes again. Stupid motherfucker.
Yeah, 'cause
I
there's
just
nothing like
hate
a
it.
little guy rolling
I
up
hate
a
it.
big guy.
I hate it. I mean, everybody know. I mean, Ray, right out of the gate, minute he saw it in the thread, types, "Oh, someone check on Nestle." Not even I couldn't even be upset about it because I already had you guys making fun of me about it. But it's such, it boils my skin,
Yeah.
JC. It's just
not
like,
great.
and the fact that it was clunky to begin with, I'm like, there we go. Yep. There it is. I will say the one thing that I would have really liked about this match even more, even though again it was a fine match and I enjoyed it. It was an actually pretty entertaining match. Was I would have for one night only really appreciated the fact if Heavy Machinery were like, fuck it, we'll be heels. And
Otis kind of did own it a little bit.
He
Yeah.
did. But I mean, like, you know that in the world of WWE, the next night they're not going to fucking care, or,
Yeah.
or Tuesday they're not going to care. So play it up. Like, have Heavy Machinery beat up Daniel Bryan, and then have that fucking Bizarro World feeling for that one night, because then it makes that match even better, But that was my only take from that. It was a great match, but it could have had tweaks here and there.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Bailey retains against Alexa Bliss because Nikki Cross loses her cool. Thoughts?
Well, first off, I didn't like it at all.
All right.
It was a crap match.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And secondly,
Good
and this
thing you
is-
get to see it again.
Yeah, I know, right? Here's something that I have to preach to pretty much anybody that ever puts on wrestling gear. Ring awareness, folks. Ring fucking awareness. Pam, I don't know what you're fucking doing with that fucking sunset flip powerbomb into the fucking buckle, but what the fuck was that,
Yeah,
man?
I was like, Alexa Bliss just got another concussion.
Yeah.
God damn.
It's just like, you gotta, like, you have to know, like, she is a trained professional, and she's so good at what she does. I love her, but God damn it, Pam. Like, fucking look and see, like, maybe I'm a little too close. Maybe I should just take a step back. Maybe have Alexa should have cheated forward too, but it's just like, God damn it. Ring
Alexa
awareness.
can do no wrong. Leave her
stop.
alone. She's a stud.
If she was a real goddess, she would have moved 3 feet forward. Just saying. Is what it is. Moving on.
Now we get to a match where
McMahon.
Roman Reigns
McReigns.
defeated McIntyre for the umpteenth time, despite all the fucking possible chicanery in the world to cheat to win. Now, this to me was the thing that pissed me off the most about the pay-per-view. So Shane McMahon beats Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel Showdown of the Super Greatest
Blood
Royal
Money, yes.
Blood Money. So then we come up, it's like, okay, so McIntyre's finally going to get his thing on Reigns. You know, the real wrestler, the guy who looked like a heavyweight champion coming down the line pretty soon, the guy who was fucking the top heel on the fucking company heading into WrestleMania. And now,
Errand boy.
yeah, he's losing to Reigns again. But Shane can beat Reigns. Drew McIntyre can't, despite all the cheating in the world.
But can Drew McIntyre...
So Drew McIntyre, literally, I don't give a fuck about him anymore. It's like they've booked him in the fucking purgatory. Throw him in the 24/7 title picture at this point. No, I still love Drew McIntyre. They're just doing the man dirty.
Come on.
They're doing the man dirty.
Come on.
Nope.
Come on.
Doing
You know
the
you
man
want
dirty.
to. You know you want to.
Stick him in the 24/7. Switch him in EC3.
Yeah,
Put EC3 in the top spot.
Top 1%.
Yeah, top 1% of superstars and put Drew McIntyre.
Ay,
let him
ay,
rebuild
ay.
himself with a 24/7 title. 3MB reunion. Jinder just re-signed for 5 years, so why the fuck not?
Wow, you
That
look
pissed me off, man. That is fucking horrible.
really...
What did I say? I said,
This is
always
it.
pick Roman Reigns unless he faces Shane. God damn it, they're doing it. That's
Yep.
fucking sad, man.
There's some I was going to say, it's not shenanigans, there's Shanikins. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like he is doing whatever the fuck he wants, peeling an orange, sweating outside with his fucking Air Jordans and his leather jackets that barely fit him. And he's out there fucking up God knows what. And then we do that whole thing. And then it's just like, I'm sitting there going, how, like, the logic is thrown out the window because, so Shane McMahon and Roman Reigns have this match, and if Drew McIntyre came in and fucking hit him with the Claymore, and then he wins, that's what beat that's what beat Roman Reigns for Shane McMahon to win. In theory, if the Claymore was hit by Drew McIntyre in this match on Reigns, theoretically, that would have been the end of the match. Yeah. And you want to have more flavors and ice cream crap toppings. Shane McMahon was out there who could have stacked the deck even higher. And I get what they're doing. They're stacking the deck for Shane to get his comeuppance.
Yeah, you got to build that star. And
But I mean, good God. Good grief, man. Like, there's some stuff there. There's some stuff to unpack. But I'm not in on it. Like, I just don't care.
Bad.
And I feel, honestly, I feel bad for the match.
You should. He
I
was
do.
fucking stud. This guy was on top of the world. He was being positioned to be like, this could be the guy. And now he is a freaking joke of a sidekick who can't win any matches anymore.
And I love that the feud was over, as we talked about.
Yeah, Michael Cole, this feud is over. And then immediately, like, tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Well,
a
I think they
dude.
did that on purpose, obviously,
It's just
to
like,
hit it.
God,
But
kill me. Just drive a fork into my heart.
Shane obviously also hurt the ref sort of kind of there. It's like, so it's just like, can we just talk about, like, not only is he a liability in promos, but he's a liability in the ring. And it's just like, it helps the persona of the Silver Spoon motherfucker. Like, it is what it is. But goddamn, man, like, I watch that and go, this guy is everywhere. He is like a rash. He is. He's everywhere. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm done talking about this.
Moving on to a match that we could probably forget, the cage match.
Do I even need to say anything? I feel like people know by now. These matches fucking suck.
They
It
always
was
suck.
decided by someone hurtling through a door. If Kofi wanted to win, he could have done the same thing to start the match. And Zig, like, it's just like, it's pointless, man. And our boy TJ, as you saw on Twitter, dug it up. He found an old Meltzer tweet that said apparently it was Bruno that thought that it would be a better pop if you walked out the door as opposed to climbing over the cage. Fuck off. So he's the one to blame.
Yeah.
I'm pissed at him. I don't like him anymore.
All right. Well, let's get to the finish of the stopping grounds here. The big main event, which again they melted. I loved it.
burn, burn. You know what? It made perfect sense.
It did.
Everything about it made sense. When Corbin started cutting the promo, I was like, it's going to fucking be Lacey. How did none of us think about this before today?
Yeah.
Like, it is like the interwoven. They're shoving this Rollins-Becky shit down our throat so much. And literally, Rollins beat up every single male on the roster. He's not going to beat up Lacey Evans with a steel chair. It made perfect sense.
Yep.
Bravo, WWE. Like, that part of it, absolutely bravo. And the crowd just completely, like, turning this match for whatever. They it's just what they do now.
Yep.
But I just...
It's bad because, I mean, honestly, I enjoyed... Here's the thing.
The story of it was great.
Yeah, the match, there was nothing wrong with the match.
No, it was fine.
The crowd was like a 2-year-old kid throwing a tantrum. All of them.
It's not what we want.
It's ridiculous. It was, and again, we sit on this program and we talk about shit and we bitch all the fucking time. But I'd like to think at some points when it's good, we really sell how good it is.
And
in
this
particular,
is they put commitment into this story. It was thought out. It had twists. It had turns. It has even more coming up. So that's why for me, it's like, is it my favorite story? No, but that's okay because it's an actual story.
and it made me go, I didn't think of it. I'm interested.
Exactly.
And
It's
now I
different.
got to see.
It's
now
different.
I have to see it.
Yes.
You, as a viewer, you pulled me in.
Yep.
And I was excited to see the finish. Like, I was like, okay, Becky. Clearly Becky has to do something. We knew that, but we didn't know when. We didn't know how.
It took Lacey just grabbing the little wiener of Seth Rollins, according to her Twitter.
No, I mean, apparently a lot of people have made a joke about if you see what he had sent out for his pictures, that he's not really that's why she's called the man, is apparently the joke. So, Anyway, look,
I'm not going to comment on that.
I wanted to point out very quickly to weave in the story. That's why she tapped out so quickly in the main event. She needed that arm to count.
That arm, maybe.
She needed that arm to count, baby.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? That was a nice little touch. They probably didn't even think of that. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. But
I didn't mind the quick tap out because I think when it's like your top star and they have like a effective finishing move, like sometimes it has to be immediate because it sells how powerful that just an armbar is. Like you have to sell it.
Yeah.
And also, I think the shining part of this pay-per-view was it ended really early.
It did.
So for me, I had a fire alarm go off right at the beginning of this match.
True.
And my phone was at 1% because I was going to pull up the network outside, just standing out there with my roommate and everyone else in like their 90s because it was like 10:30. For this
90s,
fake
what are they,
fire alarm.
148?
I mean, there's a lot of people in that building, Adam, and a lot of them are older. So some of them go to bed before 10 o'clock. So they're in their 90s. Not going to walk outside in their underwear.
What did you dress up in, a silk teddy?
I was wearing a T-shirt and shorts, I believe. Like a human.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But then I had to come back in and I had to rewatch it.
And
But I was like, holy crap. Like, I rewatched it. When I finished rewatching it, it was like 10:35. I'm like, this must have ended at like 10:20.
Dun, dun. Yeah.
Which is great. Super shine.
We spent so much time on this crap. Let's move on. It is now shine time, folks. Shining Time Station. Let's get going. What did you enjoy this week?
Okay. You
Let's
ready
do
for
this. I want to hear it.
And I talked about it with our boy Cap, and he even admitted, he's like, normally with I get embarrassed by these segments, but he's like, I was really entertained. The 24/7, the second segment, where we not only saw my boy Heath Slater become a new champion, my boy Cedric Alexander through the darkness become a new champion, but the top 1% EC3 become a new champion. This segment was wildly entertaining. I mean, I still feel everything I've ever said about this title long term, I still believe. But right now, man, this thing is the shining star of WWE programming.
Wow,
this shit is fucking great. Do you know how much I popped? The emotions I went through? Like, oh my God, Slater's gonna do it. He did it. And then immediately he loses it. And like, oh my God, Cedric. Oh my God, he did it. And then EC3, I'm like, oh my God. And then they lose. It's just like, I had everything you have from like an entire pay-per-view of title changes in about 5 minutes.
So you had like,
it was a rush. What a rush. It was great. I loved it. It was great.
So you had a wrestle boner for like 3 seconds, and then another wrestle boner.
3? Oh my God!
You had three. You had 3 Woods.
Yeah.
3 Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
In a matter of like 45 seconds.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
That was an absolutely incredible segment. That was the best of this title. And I fucking enjoyed it. And they literally.
Speaking of which, we didn't even get to talk about what I was excited about. They finally fucking pulled the trigger on the fucking wedding.
Yes, they did.
I was
This
so
is this
happy
whole
for
week
that.
of this title is shine.
I gotta say, like, and you know, I have been a big proponent of this thing fucking dying. But shout out to Drake Maverick's wife for being like, I know she's a wrestler, but in general, as a woman on your wedding day having that segment, I'm like,
Well, I'm sure it was taped. Like,
no, I know, but still, like, even it like.
it was so good. And then Drake just continuing to wear the suit with the tie in his head.
I will say this much. The one thing that took me fucking out of it, and again, I'm grasping because it was such an effective. The whole thing's effective. The 24/7 thing on Raw was
But
so.
you wouldn't be Nessa.
I
without
wouldn't
a
be
little
Nessa
bit
without
of-
a nitpicking. He fucking got a tattoo of his fucking wedding band.
Well, he did get married.
No, I know that, but what I'm saying is, like, you figure, like, if his life is in shambles and
he's not going to get that removed. He's too busy boozing.
No. I'm saying, like, the fact that he got it tattooed and his wife wants a divorce, like, for me, I was like,
Maybe
you don't
he got it before the wedding.
Maybe he did, but I don't think so. I don't think so personally. So I'm just saying, is what it is.
I'm not letting you put cold water on this super hot flame of fire.
All right, let's move on.
What else you got?
Well,
All right. Well,
just go.
Do you not have anything? Okay.
No, you usually you're the positive
That's
and I'm
true.
the negative.
Okay.
So
well,
just go for
I
it.
mean, overall, I thought this stuff was good. The club backstage dancing with
Hey!
Noah Jose during an AJ promo. Ricochet looking for the next contender. All this. AJ berating the club. The Vikings eat the club, which was good because it got the Vikings on TV.
It
got
did.
them, it's just interweaving. But my favorite part of all this was that they're finally doing what I've been begging for like a year. Make different things the main event.
Mm-hmm.
This week, the thing that we wanted to see the most was the match of AJ versus Ricochet. So what do? You make it the main event. Because here's the thing. You know what I mostly do? I did on SmackDown last night. I turn off the main event and I go back and watch it so I can fast forward it because I don't care. Because they're usually useless tag team matches or useless Ziggler matches like last night. But this one I was like, I can't. I want to see this. I want to see this live. And it delivered. Ricochet and AJ. I don't love AJ going over because it's like that thing where it's like to make a contender, they have to beat the champion. It's like, well, this guy just had the biggest one of his career last night in WWE. And then you immediately erase it by having him lose. Like, granted, yes, it's AJ Styles,
yeah.
so a little less, but why not like have AJ earn it some other way? Why does it always have to be contender beat champion? That's what bothers me. But the fact that it was in the main event slot for me was super shine. And that's why I think Raw has become the way better show.
Yeah, it has. And I mean, look, I know we're probably going to get some heat on this, and maybe this is something you want to talk about in the heat, so you can tell me to poo-poo it till later. But I actually enjoyed the promo at the beginning of the show, and I thought that it's slightly awkward relationship.
It's different, though. I like it.
online, on television, watching Becky and Seth do their like we are, but like it's weird thing, and then so Lacey and Corbin they jump them, they do the whole thing, they fucking they powder out to the side. And then we have this fucking promo, which, again, another thing to talk about was they shot Raw differently this week, where they had the guy on the apron the whole time. And then they cut the promo being like kind of like right near the ringside barricade, which they don't necessarily do all the time, which I appreciated. Again, they're trying little things here and there to make things look a little bit different. But again, the Extreme Rules thing, I actually, you know what? It's a storyline that'll make me go, I gotta see what happens.
Because I could see this stuff happening either way.
Yeah.
And it leaves open the possibility that, I was talking with our guy Cap, mentioned his name already a bunch. We talked a lot
Is
yesterday.
he paying you to mention him?
Probably. Corbin and Lacey,
enough.
if they win, does that start a Seth Becky feud for the Raw Women's Championship? Because I'd be all in for that, baby.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Becky versus Seth.
They both lose the championships.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So it can't be. But maybe it just starts a feud between them.
I doubt that highly.
That'd be great. You want intergender wrestling?
I do,
Why
but
not
then-
have the man versus the woman?
Whoa, man!
No, but seriously, like I
is
thought this was
interesting.
good too because
It's
again,
intriguing.
it's not my favorite story, but it's different, intriguing. That's the
it's
good word.
intriguing.
It's something different.
Yeah.
it's something I'm looking forward to. Is it extreme?
No.
Not yet. Maybe it will become it, but I have more of issue with other matches that get booked for the show. But in terms of this one, like I think this is good.
Let me say this much: are they probably going to lose this match? Probably not. But,
oh yeah,
but
no,
again,
I'm sure it'll be Seth and Becky.
But you sit there and you again.
There's a chance.
This is why I'm talking about raising stakes, folks. You need to have stakes, and right now we got a motherfucking prime rib on Extreme Rules.
And
'Cause
the
it
most
is there.
Baron Corbin thing ever was to win the title without actually pinning Seth.
Exactly.
That would be like either if it's him or Lacey. Either way, like
Either way, it works
It
for
just
both.
gets more heat.
Yeah.
and adds more. So yeah,
And it's
I think
great.
it's positive too.
It's an amazing addition to something that we know is a throwaway pay-per-view, considering that we know that June, July, and August nobody fucking watches television. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, of course.
I won't be watching next week. I'll be relying on you and our special guest to fill me in.
I get to pick my special guest next
I'll
week.
be in the sun, burning up a storm.
Please put on some sunblock.
I do. It
You
doesn't
burn
matter.
easily.
I'm always super hot fire. Red.
Oh boy. Yeah, you're peeling. You'll be super hot peels.
Probably.
All right. Anyway, look, I'm excited for certain things about Raw.
Like
I mean,
what else?
okay, so I got to make sure I have my notes in correctly. So look, I actually enjoyed. You're gonna laugh. Parts of the 8-man elimination. Parts.
Yeah, because it's 8 good wrestlers.
But when I was watching it, I went, oh, the way the Revival was booked in that match was the only thing I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the idea of, I was like, okay, Planets versus Revival. Like, I can see that for the melding of the 4 belts. I can see it working perfectly where it's just like 2 asshole teams are just like, no, fuck you, no, fuck you. You know, like, I saw that. I didn't care about the other side of that ring.
Whoa, but Usos.
Well, yeah.
Don't you go talk about the Usos like that. I'll have our boy Billy D come get you.
Or Ben. But look, I think we're literally name dropped everybody at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think we missed anybody, honestly. But yeah, I was more concerned on the other side of the ring. I did not care about the Usos and the New Day in this particular matchup. I hate the idea of it being an elimination match, but I understand.
You know why they did it.
Oh my God. We'll talk about it in the heat. But I am sitting there going, how many stops and starts are we going to fucking have? Unbelievable. But again,
It was a good. I mean,
It was-
again,
and here's-
it's 4 talented teams. It was, if you're gonna do a multi-man like whatever, that's what I want to see because they're gonna go balls to the wall.
Again, I know I joke around with you about the Revival and all this shit, and I try to like not make you really angry. But going back, full disclosure, like I love tag team wrestling when it's done correctly, and I mean these guys are the top of the top.
Yeah, top guys.
They are. And as much as I appreciate, the Usos and them being, as Billy had said, check it out on jobberknocker.com, at being the Usos are the best damn period tag team ever. The Revival for me, I always appreciate certain things when I watch them, but these guys went and pulled out shit that like
Every single match they do something different,
and I appreciate
That's why
it.
I love them.
They appreciate that for me. They check the box for me for Mark Adam, like the super wrestling Mark Adam, is where it's who the fuck is Adam? I know that TJ's screaming that right now, but they did the Steiner Brothers finish, which is the on the shoulders bulldog, which again, not the greatest execution, but I appreciated
Yeah.
it. And at the ending, they went to do Power and Glory's finish, where it's a suplex and splash combined, but it was switched for the Uso. I appreciated
the
that.
timing on that was really well done.
It
too.
was amazing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, now those are the guys right there that deserve the golf clap because they're taking something that was old, making it new, making a little nuance, a little tweak here and there. So again, stuff that you have to put on, like, these are why these guys are on television. And these are why these guys are where they are because they're doing stuff that not other people are willing to take a chance on. So as much shit as I give them, I wanted to say they deserve
Top guys.
They deserve it for this week in the Shine. So there you go.
They always deserve it.
Yes. Anything else?
But speaking of shine, always in the shine,
Jesus
Mandy
Christ.
Rose. My God, that's all I gotta say about that is, whoo, I almost fainted. But Mandy Rose and Sonya backstage, they confront Carmella with the rabbit in the background, as we saw little teases of the
Yes.
Funhouse. Ember Moon got to wrestle. It was for about 30 seconds, kind of, but she lost to Sonya really fast, which kind of, whatever, it works for the story, but it's like, you know what? It's baby steps. It's baby steps. We got Ember in a ring. She was in a match. The story's going to continue, which means she's going to have to get in the ring again.
if only she had read more of that magazine or played more Nintendo Switch or whatever the hell else
Exactly.
it was, the donut.
But yeah, also Demandy's Donuts is reviewing.
I saw
your
Voodoo
favorite
Donuts.
Voodoo Donuts, baby.
Yeah.
So you
What a
should
plug.
watch. Unofficial sponsor of the Jobber Knocker, Demandy's Donuts. Great fucking show. You should watch it. Who doesn't love donuts? It's the best damn donut rating show on the planet.
I'll be honest. After I paid Mandy Rose $75 to give you a happy birthday, now she's a listener of the Jobber Knocker. So then she heard last week me putting over fucking Voodoo Donuts, and she's like, you know what? We got to do it.
Yeah.
So
Stud. Always in the shine.
yeah, sure. Considering what happened, sure.
I got no other shine on SmackDown
no, I
besides
know,
that, though.
I know. It's
I'm
bad.
done. So if you want to funhouse it up, unless we got more shine.
I'm trying to look through like what the fuck happened this week because a lot of it's gonna make me angry. A lot of it. But no, I don't think so. Let's just move on because
All right. Do you want to talk about the funhouse at all?
yeah.
The
So let's
characters in the
talk
background?
about this exception to the rule. Let's get into purgatory. Let's get into the own segment now. That seems like that it has. Yeah. So let's go through this. First off, we had the Miz walking, and then boom, there's Abby just hanging out. Then we see later on in the program, in the second hour, we see Kofi getting ready, and there's Mercy, and I think a hotel-size hamper kind of looking like thing. It was very odd. And then that was it. And some people on the internet, on Twitter or YouTube or whatever, are freaking out saying, like, if you look closely in the third hour, there's the split screen for AJ Styles and Ricochet. There's these like people in the background wearing whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, guys, even for me, I'm going, look, like, and full disclosure, because we know Dr. Backcracker is listening and loves this fucking shit for the Firefly Fun House. If I can get it out of my
You
jaw.
kind of said it right there.
Firefly
There you go.
Fun House.
There you go.
But anyway, I don't think that fucking thing mattered. I don't think it's a real thing. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We'll find out. I don't think it was. And then on SmackDown, we've got
Porky the Pig.
Huskus the Pig Boy with the Planets Champions coming down. And then, of course, as you already talked about with Mella and your girls in the backstage before the R-Truth thing happened, which, again, Rambling Rabbit in the background. So there's 4 instances. And I'll tell you exactly what I went through in my own mind, JC, as I put on the detective hat for this.
Ooh.
I said to myself, what the fuck am I watching? Now, granted, on the surface, I will state that I believe there is a part of my brain that it says, now, detective, there might be something here, but there may not be. Because as we watched last week, Bray said it's time to create fear. People don't understand fear and blah, 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 blah. So realistically, I'm thinking to myself, these are more for us, not necessarily is there meaning. Because originally I'm thinking, okay, he's just creating fear. He's creating like, oh God, it's there. Oh God, it's there. It's coming. It's coming. Exactly. He's doing this we haven't gotten to the heat yet, but that fucking sent the world on fire, even though Aleister Black looked like he might have had some eye drops in his water and had diarrhea ready. Like, that's what it looked like for me, folks. But anyway, getting back to the funhouse portion. I'm sitting there going, on the surface, there's probably nothing going on. There really isn't, right?
It's just a tease.
It's teasing.
Yeah.
It's creating fear. It's creating something for us. But then the hat goes on. And then I'm thinking,
Uh-oh.
what the hell, right? Let's take it. Let's go. So firstly, this is where my brain went. So I have to show you the thread. So hold on tight. It's like a roller coaster, all right? So first off, I'm thinking there's Kofi, there's The Miz. And I saw that first night. I'm like, okay, interesting. Grand Slam champions, WWE champions, interesting, right? So there's something there. And then the next night, I'm like, okay, tag team with Daniel Bryan and Rowan. I'm going to throw Rowan out because
Is
Rowan
Daniel
doesn't.
Bryan a Grand Slam champion?
Daniel Bryan is also a Grand Slam champion,
Ooh.
also a former WWE champion. And then I'm thinking to myself, then there's the women. I'm like, okay.
The rabbit's just horny.
Yeah, so the rabbit threw me off. But however, if you watch closely, Rambling Rabbit, the minute R-Truth's name comes up, it goes whoop, and afraid when you hear R-Truth. To which I'm thinking to myself, champion. R-Truth has a lot of championships. And I'm thinking, nope, not a WWE champion. Nope, not a Grand Slam champion. But then I thought to myself, okay, champion. Maybe it has something to do with champions. So I'm like, okay. But then I'm thinking to myself, no, that's not it. And here's where I think this is where I get a little weird.
Ooh.
The Miz,
Mm-hmm.
Kofi Kingston,
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan,
Mm-hmm.
and R-Truth
Mm-hmm.
are all dads. And what did dads have? Kids. And what was Bray Wyatt doing in Firefly Funhouse? He had a bunch of kids that he was
Brainwashing
trying
kids.
to brainwash kids.
Let me in.
Exactly. And how could he feud with these people than trying to brainwash maybe some children? And dads are going to be the first line of defense, wrestling dads specifically. And that's where I was going, this is interesting. Because The Miz is going to have nothing to do. We just know it. The Miz is going to
Oh,
be
yeah,
sitting
no,
there.
he has plenty to do. He loses to Shane and...
Well, we'll get to that. The Miz is getting there doing basically nothing. We know that that's whatever. Kofi Kingston, when he probably eventually loses, maybe nothing. Eventually, someday, right? So I can see that feud happening. Daniel Bryan and Rowan, we know that there's that connection there. We know that's going to
Well,
happen
Bray
at
says
some
he's
point.
going to finish what he started also on Twitter.
Sure.
It can mean a lot of things.
So there's that. And then I think to myself, like, okay, R-Truth, he could fucking throw that in at any point and do whatever.
24/7 champion, Bray Wyatt.
The
That's what
women
they're building
were
towards.
like kind of like the shoehorn thing where I'm like, it's there for there. So that was kind of like where I was with it,
Okay.
right?
You overthought the fuck out
Oh
of
yeah.
this.
But then there's more. This is where I thought like, okay, so clearly I have to have a little bit of what I'm thinking is real. I think, going back to what we just talked about, that each puppet was picked strategically for the people in the hallway. and you're saying to yourself, Adam, I think you need to be able to be hospitalized. And maybe you're right. Maybe I should be hospitalized because this guy's driving me motherfucking nuts. However, am I nuts, JC? Am I?
Yeah.
No, wait till I'm done.
Okay.
All right. So let's look at it this way. The Miz had who in the background?
Abby the Witch.
Thank you very much, JC. Thank you for the astute observation. What does Abby really talk about? In my head, I'm thinking, like, what is Abby in these new Firefly Funhouse kind of things? Funhouse, whatever they are. I'm thinking to myself, Abby is really the voice of reason. Abby is really looking for truth. She is. She's basically crapping on the Firefly Funhouse, and she's basically shitting all over it. And she's basically saying, here's the truth. You're an idiot. You're a psychopath, whatever. And The Miz is really the only person in the WWE that is really fighting for any type of truth. He's fighting for something. He's fighting. Miz TV is usually, let's get the truth out. Let's get something going. I want to know the dirt. I want to know the reason for something to happen. And I thought, that's an interesting connection. Then I thought to myself, then there's Kofi and there's Mercy. Mercy is the killer of everything, especially Rambling Rabbit, if you think about it. And I thought to myself, it's interesting because people are talking about Kofi Kingston's storyline, his storybook championship reign. And I thought to myself, Mercy might be there for a particular reason because Bray Wyatt may or may not be the one to kill it. You never know, right? It's an interesting thing.
I'd be down for
Then
that.
we get to, of course, the Planet's Tag Team Champions. And I drew the comparison to Huskus being popped up there, which we know is a big fat pig boy, right? And if you go back to the original part of the new Daniel Bryan, what did he hate? Processed foods. He hated people eating that giant hot dog at the Royal Rumble. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, there are little things here that get connected to it.
You're nuts.
And then we get to the final thing with these women talking up a fucking store and, I don't know, rambling. And look, there's a rambling rabbit in the background. And I'm thinking, they are picking these particular puppets for a particular reason. It's unbelievable. I'm thinking, this is happening.
I don't know about that one.
I'm thinking this
I
one.
think you're a little too far down the nestle hole.
I'm telling you, folks, just trust me. Trust me. It's happening.
I'm
it's
not gonna
happening.
let you in.
It's happening. And then so we get to that whole thing. I don't even know. But anyway, honest to God, as much as I just went down the fucking rabbit hole,
I did not expect you to spend 6 minutes on this.
I'm telling you right now, I don't think anything even matters. I think they just did it to strike fear. But after I take off the detective hat here, I think legitimately, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I would like. Here's a Nestle bonus Detective Hope. I want this to keep happening, but I also think that going forward, they're going to tweak it where it's going to be, we see the puppets, but the wrestlers don't. I think that's going to be an interesting dive.
That's what happened this week.
But so they're already planting that, but I'm saying like even like more egregious of like, you feel like somebody's watching me? And like they don't duck down. It's just like they don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important. Like we, the audience, knows what we see. We are part of Bray. We are letting Bray in, but I think the wrestlers are not going to be able to see them. And I think that's going to be the scary part. That's going to be that uncomfortable feeling. And I would like to see that. Also, somebody put it up on Twitter very quickly that
Oh my God, you have more?
yeah, the Bray Wyatt put out that he made a tweet saying, go and check his Twitter. I don't know if it's still there. He said Wyndham. He gave out his real name, Wyndham something, I forget his full name, but it's like Wyndham Lee or something like that. But someone said, who the hell is he? And he goes, the key. So now people are like fucking like going crazy over this shit because they're saying like, oh, he's the key, meaning like the real person, not Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend, not anybody, is the key to this entire thing. So I don't know if he's sending everybody on a wild goose chase, which I imagine he is.
Yeah.
But God damn it, like, somebody sitting there going like, is he going to be just Wyndham? Is that going to be his name? It's like, it's not Bray Wyatt. It's not all this stuff. So I mean, like, we're getting kind of crazy, folks. We're getting in the weeds.
I don't know how you got there with that, but I'm impressed.
Yeah. It's a thing, folks. It's a thing.
You're nuts.
I know. That's all I got, though. But honestly,
That's all I got, but I got more.
It's in my opinion, I'm grasping at straws. In my opinion, I looked at that and went, I don't think there's anything there tonight. But I think everybody expects me to go fucking ape shit nuts, and that's what I do.
my
So
God.
there you go, folks.
Ooh. All right, well, you want to get heatful?
Go ahead.
All right, my quick one is more notes to two particular things. You know, there's this new thing that happens. It's not really new in WWE. They do it all the time where something happens on pay-per-view, like, I don't know, New Day and Samoa Joe lose, and they immediately get vaulted to be number one contenders for titles. I don't know if you heard in the Raw commentary during that 8-man tag, Corey Graves goes, yeah, the New Day are the top contenders for the SmackDown Live tag team titles. I'm like, they just lost to Kevin and Sammy. Shouldn't they be more top contenders? Oh, wait, they got wiped out by Kofi. By the way, more heat, having those guys just lose out to Kofi, who doesn't need to wrestle on both shows. Stop. But also, Samoa Joe, as cool as it is that he's facing Kofi, he just lost a U.S. title match, so that makes him a number one contender for the fucking WWE Championship? How about this? Dolph wants a title shot. Samoa Joe wants a title shot. How about instead of the main event of SmackDown being Kofi versus Dolph, part 6,544 in a fucking useless 2 out of 3 falls match, how about we have a number one contender match between Samoa Joe and Dolph Ziggler, and the winner faces Kofi Kingston? Because then guess what? When I'm at work, I wouldn't be able to turn off the TV and be like, oh, I'm just going to fucking not watch it, because it would actually matter. I just interweaved like 3 things. You know, I think I saved us some time.
Aren't you just the fucking man?
Thank you. Something Becky and Lynch and I have in common.
Yeah, sure. Are we gonna lose a gasket over 2 out of 3 falls again?
Go for it. You
All right, so here we go.
Start off on
All
that.
right, here we go. So 2 out of 3 falls. Not only do we have it last week twice, and we didn't even use it. Now we have 2 out of 3 falls this week. We are killing this match stip. We are killing it. Like, you are bringing it behind the shed, shooting it, bringing it back out, shooting it again. I mean, it is something having 2 out of 3 falls for me. It doesn't matter because there's not a definitive, like 2 out of 3 falls for me is a feud ender. It's a way to be like, you're good at what you're good at what you do. I'm good at what I do. We need to figure this out right now. Who's the best? That's what 2 out of 3 falls, in my opinion, works for. Having it as an arbitrary match makes no fucking goddamn sense.
Well, we know the reason. Let's explain in case people don't know. The reason why they're doing it is Vince decided this week that he no longer wants wrestling during commercials. So if you noticed on both shows, it was really forced the way they were doing things, whether it was like they'd stop and then they'd restart after. And the 2 out of 3 falls, a fall would happen, they'd go to commercial. So like, I get why they're doing it, and I don't mind them trying something different as a device, but the problem is it's so forced. Like on SmackDown, it was obvious. It was like, okay, we have these 2 matches. I believe it's the Bayley-Nikki match, another match that you knew you were going to have picture-in-picture. So they didn't have to be 2 out of 3 falls because the match continues in picture-in-picture. So therefore, they're wrestling during the commercial, but you can see it. But then you know, like, okay, these 2 different matches on SmackDown, Miz Elias and then the main event, are 2 out of 3 falls because they plan on going to commercial. But then it makes it way too obvious. And that's why for me, it's like, I don't need to watch this and I don't care because the thing, like, we obviously know that everything's predetermined. It's wrestling, blah, blah, blah. But you still, when we're watching it, you want them to do a good job of not constantly reminding us that that's the case. But by having a fall and immediately going to commercial means it is literally a timed out thing to a degree. And it's just like, it's screaming at you, fake, 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 fake. And it cheapens it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if they're trying to do something to be more sports oriented because they heard AEW is doing something more sports
this isn't
oriented.
how to do it.
But like, I get that they're probably going like, what does sports have that we don't have? Timeouts. You know, it's like, and that's what they're thinking maybe. And I listen, I applaud that you're trying something new. And wrestling needs it all over
Absolutely.
again. It really does. It needs a facelift. It does. And I'm sure that they'll get it right. But when you take a match stipulation, we're not doing something where it's like we're doing steel cages every week, are we? Thank God. We're not doing like handicap matches every week. You're doing 2
We
out of
had
3.
one this week.
You know, but it's like you're doing 2 out of 3 falls in the same program twice.
Yeah.
It's bad. Like it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. And it's like, well, let's be honest here, folks. When you hear 2 out of 3 falls, you don't necessarily care in general. But we all know what the end result is. We don't care about the first 2 falls. We care about the 3rd fall. It is what it is. It really is.
Well, you know what else bothered me about this? It's because in the Kofi Dolph match, Kofi took his first pin since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it was just in a match that was like cheap and it wasn't really that meaningful because Dolph doesn't end up getting a title shot because Kofi beat him the next 2. I was really hoping, like, I know it's like a silly thing, but it's just like Kofi's been built so strong to have him eat a pin there. Like it doesn't kill him, but for me, it hurts it a little bit. Whereas like this was something special where he was unbeatable. But now we see it's like if that was a regular match, Dolph would have beat Kofi. Like Dolph would have beat Kofi, and so but now he's not getting a title shot out of it. So it was literally just like a device to get to commercial is how they use that. And I hate when they do stuff like that when you have something naturally special.
And then, of course, we already shit on Shane so much about the 2 out of 3 falls.
Well,
with Miz
I
and
mean,
Elias,
fucking
but,
that shit, like, it was just, he was all over it. I was unwatchable. Like, it is literally unwatchable. I didn't even pay attention to it. I couldn't. I don't even know if it was a good match. It was redundant as hell. How many times did The Miz squash Elias the last couple weeks? Now it's 2 out of 3 falls and just, what, like, the whole point of, like, the Miz Shane Long Term story, like, working is that you pull them apart a little.
Yep.
But they're not. The Miz, like, literally, Shane is feuding with Roman Reigns. But he's also like, he's just messing with The Miz. The Miz was on top of the world. Another guy like McIntyre. Literally, I hope you're noticing a pattern here. The Miz, top of the world coming into this year. Now he's literally jobbing to Shane. Elias, on top of the world with the crowd, getting reaction to start the year. Now he's with Shane. That guy gets no fucking reaction right now. And we already talked about McIntyre. Those are the 3 guys the closest to Shane. And he is fucking killing them. Suck on that, Ray Ray.
he's not the best in the world.
No, he's the best in the world at killing momentum for talent.
Wow.
He sucks.
Potentially squashing everybody's push. Right out the door.
Shane the Shoveler.
He is. I don't know. There's so much about SmackDown that I really hated.
Well, it kicked off with fucking recaps. You have the Shane
Yeah.
promo recap, and then a Kofi recaps. It's like,
Yeah.
come on.
They must be tapped out in terms of storytelling because there's just like, I don't know, 2 out of 3 falls. I don't know. Let's put Kofi and Dolph Ziggler and like have the 4th fucking promo be the same thing over and over and
The exciting
over.
thing with Samoa Joe, it's like, and then I was talking about it with TJ on Twitter. It's just like, you know, you have the attack on Monday, and it's like, okay, there's 2 ways they can do it now. Kofi can come out, cut a promo, and challenge Samoa Joe, which is fine. They do it all the time. It's a cheap way to do it. Or you can do a number 1 contender match. But no, right before the show, at Extreme Rules, Kofi Kingston will defend against Samoa Joe. Why are we throwing that out there right before the show? Like, because then it's just like, okay, so now Kofi's going to come out anyways, and the segment doesn't matter because we already know the end result. It's just, it's so bad.
It is bad.
Frustrating.
Speaking of bad, then we had the New Day beat the tag champs, and then it got thrown into a schmaz.
For
which
no
then,
reason.
Yeah, and then gets into an 8-man tag. A fucking 8-man tag, man. And then, of course, randomly, it's like KO just leaves, and then Machinery does a trash compactor, and they win. And it's just like, what is this? This is like, it is...
Not only that, but they also
hurts.
just had an 8-man tag on Monday with all the tag teams. So
Exactly.
Rerun Tuesday.
was.
It is now Tuesday. I'm wearing the Monday Night Rerun
need a
shirt.
Tuesday night.
I want to cover it up with Tuesday Night Rerun because SmackDown is literally a rerun.
It is.
Every single week that show fucking sucks. Speaking of reruns, Nikki Cross beats Bailey, meaning we get Bailey and Bliss rerun at Extreme Rules. Maybe it'll be another fucking kendo stick on a pole match because that worked out so well before for these 2.
Holy good grief.
Oh, and by the way, what was the one thing they teased for this week, last week?
I know.
They had a backstage segment. Iconics versus Sky Pirates. If the Sky Pirates
But they
win,
weren't even in
they get a title
Japan.
shot. They're like, that's the thing. It's just like, the match just doesn't happen. They don't even acknowledge it.
Nope.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me? The Iconics weren't even on. They got commercials, which are fucking great, by the way. Peyton Royce, like, love what she's doing. And just like they have WWE.com exclusives, but like, what are we doing? This was like one of the things not on pay-per-view that you could have pushed forward. They did a good job with the Finn Nakamura thing. Again, they just pulled a contender out of the hat. It's like, oh, we haven't seen Nakamura in 2 months. Here you go, have an IC title shot. Why not fucking be like number 1 contender match next week? Have like 5 guys like they do on 205 Live, so you have a fun match with like Nakamura, Rusev, Ali, Cesaro, and whoever. Like throw whoever the fuck you want in there because it's a fucking wild card. But it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
What are we doing? But it was nice to see Finn back. At least I know him and his abs are still alive.
Yeah, but yeah. Honestly, it was unwatchable. SmackDown was unwatchable from start to finish, in my opinion.
Except for that one little brief time where, whew, the Mandy's Donuts versus
we
Ember
get
Moon.
it. We get it. You have
Ember Moon was in a ring.
an affinity for somebody. We get it.
I have an affinity for all of them. They're great. And know why I like it? Because it's something that's exclusive to SmackDown. I only get that on SmackDown. Whereas everything else on SmackDown, I get on Raw. Because Kofi wrestles on both shows. How cheap does it make it look, these fucking championships, that in the same ring, you have the Raw and SmackDown tag team champions? Like, that's a lot of titles. In, like, fucking Kofi and Seth, redundant titles. Like, it's just like, you're just, like, shining a light on how redundant your shit is. Ugh. We
Preach,
haven't
brother.
even got to the worst part yet.
Go ahead. Team me up.
So I'm already watching this shitty-ass handicap match. Absolutely shitty handicap match. And then literally the worst sound in the world. Fingernails on a chalkboard. Gone. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Gone. This can't be fucking real. I must have passed out. Gone. Lights go out. I'm like, I fucking hope it's Bray Wyatt in an Undertaker dress at this point. Nope, there he is. The guy's like a fucking STD. Certainly it was a surprise, but it's not one you want. I didn't come up with that on my own. I stole it from someone, but they told me not to say who gave me that because they don't want to be associated with it. But it's fucking good shit, right?
I can already get.
I love how you little like pause and then you're like,
Yeah, I can't because I'm thinking to myself like, who the fuck would say that? And I'm like, oh,
don't even speculate.
no, but
It's such good shit.
It's such good shit. I'm not going to say the name, but I have a pretty decent idea. There's a small group of company that I could think would know that. All right, but look, yeah, I mean, he is what he is. He is what he is, folks. I mean, and I think our boy, the Joe Stopper, said it best. You fucking retire the guy and you come help him out. I know they're going to say it's respect and whatever, but good God. Good God. And here's the thing, too. If Reigns needs The Undertaker's help to beat Shane, like, not McIntyre.
How
but
bad
Shane.
is this match going to be with 2 geriatric jobbers in it?
It's
Oh,
going to be
God.
rough. This right here screams.
It's extreme, though.
It screams fucking just tables, ladders, chairs, whatever they can do. Like
This
it
is going to end up
screams-
being the main event, probably.
Oh yeah,
Well, Becky
Becky
Seth
and
actually
Seth
probably,
might be.
but this will be the second main event. Kofi will probably kick off the show.
Yeah.
Actually, Kofi Joe might be on the pre-show.
No, I just there's so much about the Undertaker that like he gave the world's laziest choke slam.
I love that you pointed that out right away.
I'm
Because
telling
everyone
you,
on the internet was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool," and I was like, "No, it's not."
it's just like he literally did something that he never does. He fucking picks up Shane. And he gets to the fucking like climax of the thing and he just like dropped him. He just like let go instead of following through with the choke slam. And I'm like, he looked oafy. He looked old. It's a dude that like shaves his head except for the top and then has the back. It's like a mullet, but not a mullet. It was just so, the whole thing was like, it was a nice surprise. And I'm like, oh,
No, it
okay. But then you get past that whole thing and you're like,
Also,
oh my God.
last time Undertaker and Reigns were together, what happened? Reigns put the fucking dead man in the ground and he
Yeah.
crawled himself out. But it's like, so he's saving him now? What does the Undertaker have against Shane and Drew? It's just like, that part of it made no fucking sense either. Ugh.
It was shock value. It was, let's do
Yep.
this. It hurts.
You know what shock value stands for? Well, you know what the S in... Well, whatever, you get
Shit.
the point.
Yeah, there you go. Anything else that really makes you upset
Yeah.
besides geriatric jobbers?
Yeah.
All right.
Nothing else.
Let's move on, folks, to our hope.
Glorious.
Do you have a hope? Do you want me to go?
I can come up with one right now.
I'll do it if you want me to
Okay,
do it.
go for it.
So I was thinking to myself, because I have such a genius brain, I thought to myself, hey, Nestle, what were you watching on Sunday? I was watching Stomping Grounds, and, I was intrigued by Becky and intrigued by Seth Rollins. I am, and I'm thinking to myself, there's an interesting thing here. I made a joke that Seth Rollins makes a really good damsel in distress, and the man comes and saves him, which again, I appreciate, and it was fun. And I thought, this is not going to be the first time that Becky Lynch has to save Seth Rollins. So here's my hope. At Extreme Rules, Baron and Lacey will not be effective, and the two man and woman will win their respective championships back or just retain. And they're celebrating. And then all of a sudden we're going to hear dun 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 dun. All I want here, this is my hope. I want the man to come face to face with Brock Lesnar.
That'd be fucking great.
Now listen to me very carefully. I do not want her to get any offense in. I do not want Brock to sell a goddamn thing. I want Brock to annihilate her.
Whoa.
I want Seth Rollins to have to watch Brock Lesnar. Just based on it alone, having Becky Lynch go face to face with Brock Lesnar will make Becky Lynch, but having some type of interaction, whether it's physical or verbal, will make that moment, but will absolutely make it even bigger. And I know they're going to push this Seth and Becky thing further and further and further, but having Becky go up one face to face with him, not showing any problems, but then every once in a while, maybe even just once, when Brock Lesnar wants to slide in and cash in and Becky can foil it, is a thing we haven't seen before. And I think we'll give her a credibility that we normally, like, you want to talk about the rub. I mean, Brock would rub right off, and she becomes a fucking rocket ship even more into a different galaxy.
The man beast.
Seriously, right? And so I'm thinking, I just want to see that interaction. I want that hope. I want that interaction between two of them. It's got to happen.
I like it.
It's going to happen. So Becky Lynch having that one-on-one moment with Brock, whether it's physical or not, I'm okay with.
Let's get.
But if he F5s her, I'm all set. I'll be off to the races on that one. I will love every second of it.
I like it. That's good stuff.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, my hope has to do with knock, knock, knocking on Alistair's door. Yeah, 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 yeah. Those fucking promos suck. But at least now, hopefully, they've come to a conclusion.
Fire. Bye.
So, there's a lot of options they can go here.
Yeah.
It could be anyone, anything, any what. Maybe it was just the rabbit. You know,
It was
getting
the
presumptuous.
rabbit.
Some people want it to be Bray Wyatt. No. Here's the thing. Because whoever Alistair's feuding with, it needs to elevate him.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, Ali would be cool. But then I'm like, I would like to see Ali, get on TV and start wrestling to be a star. But he's another guy that I have in that upward trajectory. So I'm like, I don't really want either of them taking L's right now. So there were two other guys that really came to mind. One's a Raw superstar, one's a SmackDown superstar. One's the legend killer, Randy Orton. I've talked about how I would love to see those two get together. I think they'd put on great matches. And the other one is on Raw, a guy that we didn't see on TV this week, in Cesaro. Both wily veterans, fantastic wrestlers, who I'd love to see in the ring with Aleister Black. I think they should do both eventually. But right now, I'm hotter for Randy. I'm always hot for Randy. But right now, I'm hotter for Randy because, eventually, I want SummerSlam to be Randy Kofi. That's what I want. I don't know if I'm going to get it, but that's what I want. So right now, Kofi's kind of tied up in a sleeper hold with Samoa Sleep Joe. So Randy's got an open slate. Why not have him and Aleister Black have a feud here to get us there? And I just really want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that Randy's the one knocking on Alistair's door. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. Hashtag JC knows.
Hashtag JC always does karaoke.
Yeah.
Awful.
Great karaoke. I'm a 5-star singer out of 5.
There you go.
Thanks, Dave.
Dave. Tell him, Steve Dave. Look, that was good. That was good. Going into our comeback, you kind of poo-pooed it in your hope, but that's fine. I am excited. I'm giving my comeback to Samoa Joe because I was like, look.
I poo-pooed it all over the show.
You did. You pulled your pants down. You crapped all over my comeback, but that's fine. I am excited for Samoa Joe because I'm a Samoa Joe guy in general. I really enjoy his work. I think that, like we said, once the bell rings, whatever. But leading up to this with the New Day, I'm so friggin' happy because it's just like he has great promos. He's great physical. And I think it's a great mountain for Kofi to climb. Say that again. Kofi to climb. That's hard. And Dolph Ziggler is literally fucking it's a pit stop. It doesn't matter to me. I just want it to fucking end. And I don't care.
Hopefully.
And it's just okay, we had Daniel Bryan, we've had other KO, we've had other things here and there. But in my opinion, Samoa Joe is going to be a real physical test for me, where I'm all right, I like that. It's a different thing. Kofi's flying around doing kicks and stuff, and Samoa Joe can just smack the shit out of him, and I'm fine with it. So I'm giving my comeback, even though it's fucking convoluted and makes no goddamn sense. Loses the championship, gets another championship title shot. I don't know. I don't care. I'm in on it because I think it's good for Kofi.
It is Summer of Joe. This time every year, Samoa Joe comes
Samoa
around,
Joe.
loses world title matches.
Yep.
That's his role.
He is the everyman.
Yep.
There you go. That's my comeback.
My comeback. You're not going to expect this. Normally on a week like this, I'd give it to my boy Heath Slater, baby! Single title win, but I'm not.
Okay.
There's been something going on Twitter with a guy that I don't really like, but I am absolutely digging this because he is stomping all over the virgins. Oh, it is so
boy.
good. Seth Rollins, you're getting my comeback this week,
What?
buddy, because you learned from your man friend, Becky Lynch,
Man friend.
how to be good on Twitter. He is literally just going at trolls, standing up for WWE. It's great. I love it. And he's going after that little bird guy in Japan, the Osprey. Caca. And it was great. And Baron Corbin even got involved, and because Osprey was I've wrestled more matches than Seth Rollins this year, and Corbin's well, guess what? I've wrestled more than you. And then Osprey didn't have a good comeback. He's maybe that's why I wrestled so bad. But it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Why does this Seth Rollins not translate to my TV? Because he's being the good guy, but he's doing it in a badass way. Stomping on Virgins. I'm all for it. It's a lot about stomps this week. Stomping grounds. Stomping on Virgins on Twitter. Seth Rollins, sir, you get my comeback probably for the first and only time in your existence.
Wow. All right.
I'm not a Rollins guy.
Not many people are, apparently.
No, a lot of people are.
Okay.
Yeah. But maybe now they're all turning against him.
All right. Well, now we're into the big finish. Let's get going on this thing. You threw up a knuckleball my way earlier when we started to do
Fighter Fest, baby!
this. So here's the thing. We usually talk about WWE all the time. But JC thought it's funny because JC does not watch AEW, nor does he care.
I watched some of that other thing on Twitter.
JC does not have any authority to talk about anything AEW,
Yeah,
nor
neither
does he
do you.
have any type of knowledge of AEW.
I know about 10 people in these matches.
There you go. He's going to embarrass himself. He wants to do
No.
predictions, folks.
Well, first off, we got to
Yes.
plug our boy TJ. Article coming up, I think he said later today on jobberknocker.com with a real preview of Fighter Fest. We're going to give you a little appetizer here.
So when
but
Jay-
TJ has the main course.
When JC essentially, makes you cringeworthy, and because he can't pronounce names or doesn't
Hey,
know these
a lot of people listening might not know these people either. So we're giving them an introductory course, and then TJ's giving them the freaking, the lesson plan.
There you go.
So it's good. And also, let's just plug everything now. Also on jobberknocker.com,
There
20 Cruiserweight Report, NXT, and NXT UK will all be available. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Pro Wrestling Tees, I believe they're having a sale. The promo code is America.
That
America
starts
may
Monday.
be I can't even speak.
It's true.
America needs to be made great again, but the Jobber Knocker does not. So get your red, white, and black gear available exclusively on Jobber Knocker on Pro Wrestling Tees. Except for the red one shirt is just black and white, but red, white, and black. Rep America. Happy July 4th. Woo! Celebrate. Also, make sure you give us 5 stars, 5 flames, whatever you got to do on iTunes, Podomatic, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, archived on YouTube. Did I forget anything?
I'm sure you didn't. You're good.
Sure, cool. But yeah, do that stuff in Twitter at Jobberknocker, at Nestlemania, at JC of the JK, at DQ of the JK, at Ray of the JK, at Billy D2411, at Joe Pollock 47, at TJ of the JK, and at the Real Deal B Cox. Follow us, tweet at us. We'll talk about whatever you want.
You need more coffee. You need more coffee.
It's almost out.
Coffee
Facebook
Kingston over
Jobberknocker,
here.
Instagram Jobberknocker, Coffee Kingston. I like
Coffee
that.
Kingston. This one will probably
Everywhere
from
you
now
want to
on.
be on social
Boom.
media, let's do it.
SOS.
Tweet us about anything. If you want to talk WWE, if you want to talk AEW, if you want to talk TNA, I can't help you there, except for I know the one person that I knew from there just left. So
You are very quickly falling apart. Let's get over.
now we got to preview the Fighter Fest.
All right, let's do
Not
this.
the Firefly Fest, the Fighter
Firefly
Fest.
Fun House.
There's 9 matches.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do this.
We're going to start off with a hardcore match.
Oh.
Between Michael Nakazawa,
Nakazawa.
versus Alex Jabali. Hey, Jabali. Ooh,
All right.
I want to know.
Can you just pick fucking somebody, please?
If you'll be my pick.
So you could put Jabaker?
I'll pick Alex Jabali.
Okay, great, wonderful. I will also pick the Jabales.
Ooh, so maybe I did something right. The next is a singles match between Cody and Darby All In. Think they did it on purpose? He made his name the name of their old pay-per-view?
What are you looking at?
Cody versus Darby All In.
Oh, they screwed that up.
Oh, really?
Darby Allen.
Oh, well, they spelled it with an I. Blame Wikipedia. I'm picking Cody because I don't know who Darby Allin is.
Okay, he's an amazing talent. You should learn to
I'm
know
sure
his
he
name.
is, but I don't know who he is. Maybe I will after Fighter
All right,
Fest.
well, I'm picking Cody. You're picking Cody.
Yeah, so I'm
All
right.
let's move on.
Next up is a singles match. We have Kylie Ray versus Leva Bates with Peter Avalon. I'll pick Kylie Ray.
Can you say that again? Kylie Ray versus who?
Leva Bates.
All right, well, Kylie Ray then. There you go.
Wow, you don't even know who these people are, and I do. That's sad. Next up, oh boy, this is a mouthful. I've seen this full screen. It's ridiculous. A 3-way tag team match. The winners advance to All Out for an opportunity at a first-round bye in the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament. That is a stipulation if I've ever seen one. We got the best friends of Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta versus SoCal Uncensored of Scorpio Sky and Frank Kazarian versus Private Party. Interesting. Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn.
If you, I'll tell you right now, you love the Street Profits. You will love Private Party. These guys, in my opinion, Private Party is more athletic.
Are you picking them?
I'm picking Private Party.
Wow. I'm going to pick the 2 best friends that anyone could have.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
All right. And honestly, if you haven't seen Private Party, you're missing out. They are
like it.
friggin' phenomenal.
I'm already in. Next up is a 3-way match. Yuka Sakazaki versus Riho versus Nyla Rose. I'm going to pick the one I've heard of in Nyla Rose.
Okay. Give me the second one.
Riho?
Riho.
Wow, you don't even know the name. Next up is a singles match between Christopher Daniels and Seema. Not to be confused with Zima.
Give me my keys to my Beamer.
I'll pick Christopher Daniels. CD. Rom. Next
You're picking
up,
Daniel? You didn't even ask me what I picked.
you said Seema.
Oh, okay. All
Isn't
right.
that who you picked?
Sure, whatever.
Okay. Next up is a four-way match. Adam Page, baby, versus Jimmy Havoc versus Jungle Boy versus MJF. Some big hitters in this one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't pick Hangman Page, you're stupid. So
I'm picking MJF
there you go.
because I like him better. He cracks me up. Ms. Light.
He'd fucking smack the shit out of your
Well,
face, man.
guess what? One guy's wildly successful, the other guy's on the rise and not there yet. So I think I'm in the right here. Singles match. John Moxley versus Joey Janela.
I mean, come on.
You down with the
Mox.
Mox? Yeah.
You got to give the Mox.
Then I'm assuming this is the main event. A six-man tag team match. The Elite, Kenny
The
Omega, Matt
Elite.
Jackson, and Nick Jackson versus the Lucha Brothers of Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix and Laredo Kid.
What?
What do you mean, what?
Laredo Kid?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Where the hell are you looking?
I'm looking right there. You don't even know this card. I know it better than you. I'm picking the Lucha Brothers.
Really?
They just won back the titles, didn't they? Yeah, Laredo Kid is a Mexican luchador or mass professional wrestler. Wow, they really have to say that. He's currently under contract with Impact Wrestling. Wow, you don't even know who this guy is. Wow, I know more than you. I had heard of him because I pay attention to social media and saw them tweet about it.
Well, I'm picking the Young Bucks, the Elite, baby.
Yeah, well, you're going to be wrong.
Okay.
Card is subject to change.
So is my opinion. So
I think that was a pretty good appetizer preview.
It's free,
If
it's
you
on-
want the
it's
real
on-
analysis,
yeah.
someone who actually knows who Laredo Kid is, unlike Nestlemania, check out at TJ of the JK's exclusive Fighter Fest preview available on Jobber Knocker later today.
I'm slipping at my old age. I really am.
Yeah, you're an old man.
That's
You're
also
like
a movie
52.
quote. 52? I look like I'm 18.
That's true.
I look younger than you.
I know, because I have facial hair. You can't grow it.
And that's where we end the program. So, thank you for listening to the Jobber Knocker. We'll be back next week with more Jobber Knocker.
See you in 2 weeks, bitches.